Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and most importantly, welcome back to beautiful Nicaragua. I'm here with Courtney today. We're gonna be sharing something personal and something really cool that I think can help a lot of people.
Yeah, when we first moved abroad, we didn't realize just how much it was going to impact our life, we raise our kids, how it shaped us, and everything that we do.
All the challenges too, right, that we went through?
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't realize just what it would be like until we got here. So we would like to share with you today just how it has impacted us and the lessons we've learned along the way.
Let's start with the reason why we moved to Nicaragua. We both have different reasons, and for me, it was more personal. My family has ties to Nicaragua. They originate from Nicaragua, but I was born in the States, so I spent a lot of time there, and I had disconnected myself from my roots. For me, it was to come back, find purpose, and find fulfillment, because I had lost that in the States after working corporate America for so long. So coming here was to really reconnect with the family and to build on the dream of building a coffee farm I inherited from my family.
For me, I always knew I was never going to stay in the States, especially in California. As much as I love it, I knew I was meant to be outside of the United States, just roaming the world, enjoying what life had to give. So I knew I needed to get out, and this opportunity just came up with Elton not wanting to work the corporate lifestyle. And as much as it seems scary for some people and is scary, I was excited. I was really excited. Though I had only vacationed in Nicaragua.
Yeah, and vacationing here is way different than living.
Yeah,
so.
And I literally told myself on vacations to Elton, well, you can retire here. I'm okay dying here, like everything. You know, did I think it was gonna happen at this age? No, I thought maybe in our 50s, 60s. But yeah, I can't wait to share with you just what we've learned coming here, that it really is not a vacation once you decide to move abroad, but the amenities that do come along with it and the change that has made for the better for us.
All right, let's move on to the next part. So leaving the US, how has it changed our life? I'll go first on that one.
Okay, go first.
For me, it's really finding a purpose and sense of fulfillment on the personal level. So when I was working corporate America, I was really burnt out, and it didn't make sense to me how much you worked over there just to pay rent, pay all the groceries, and get 2 days off. So I wanted really a slower pace of life and to get different perspectives on the way the world moves. So moving out of the US really did that for me. And from there, we have just grown, and this has impacted me tremendously, because now when I travel to different countries, I have so much respect how everyone else lives. And I realize that there's not only one way to live, there's different ways around the world. And if you go travel and explore, you can find something that really suits you. So for me, it was a sense of fulfillment and a sense of feeling at home. This country to me really feels like home. And so that's how it's changed me and a broader perspective. How about you?
For me, it's been, you know, going from the materials and amenities and convenience that I used to have, and the change of pace of life. So for how fast I used to live life versus how slow I live it now. And honestly, the work-life balance too versus life. You know, I really come to realize just what life really is about. Nicaragua has helped shine that for me. And it's been really important, especially with raising my kids, just how much value that adds into their lives. And then also just making more of a wholesome person of myself with letting go of those amenities and convenience, and really just accepting life, literally taking that sip of coffee and just enjoying it, not rushing through it.
Also, those personal things between us are different, but together as a couple is really just made our bonds stronger, because now we can travel and relocate to these new countries and really just have this scope of everything going on and not only one way to do things, you know?
Yeah, I just felt like life in California was so fast and quick that I couldn't appreciate the moments. Even going out to eat, it's like, you know, what's the next thing? When are we doing the next thing? On a hike, I'm making it quicker than it needed to be. And I always was working until midnight, and now I'm just like, step away. What is 2 minutes towards my kids, right? And the people here really let me see that, because they enjoy their siestas, they go home, but it's because they know balance. She's getting
okay,
upset.
go check, yeah. That's like a controversial topic. A lot of people have different things to say about it, but I'll let you go first. What's your opinion about raising kids out of the US or abroad in general?
You know, for me, like I said earlier, I really have always thought I was going to be traveling. That didn't mean I didn't want kids. It meant that I wanted my kids to be a part of that life. I feel like it gives you so much difference in seeing other cultures, diversity, and, you know, a different view of a lens of life. And I couldn't have asked for a better place for my kids than to live abroad.
But what do you feel like people would ask, like, okay, what about, aren't you scared of your kids going to a different school? Like, what's your perspective on like safety? You know, your kids playing outside, like.
Yeah, that's
I can already see the comment section getting lit up on this.
That's a great topic. I mean, for me, like, I'm not concerned about the safety because everywhere in the world has its dangerous parts. You know, we lived in Hayward, California, and that's only 20 minutes from Oakland. A lot of people think Oakland is very dangerous. We had great times in Oakland too. There are dangerous pieces of the world, but that's everywhere. And so we can't fear that, or at least I feel I can't fear that.
But what about your kids' future being in a supposed second world or third world country?
I mean, that may be better for them because, like, if everything's handed to us in life, how are we going to learn to appreciate it, you know? So, and that's something I even took coming here, like letting go of the convenience. Like, we don't always have a water day. I'll tell you right now that every single time I shower, I'm so grateful for every drop of water on my body. Like,
yeah, so here in Nicaragua, it depends where you live. If the city is expanding, you get water certain times of day. So if you're renting a house that doesn't have enough storage capacity and your family's too big, you will run out of water at some point.
Yeah.
But if you own your home, you can install tanks, you can build wells and all that to solve that problem. But yeah, that's what Courtney is referring to as a little detail there.
It's just a little detail. So, but yeah, so for me, it creates a more humble life of living and lets our kids see just what they can appreciate, you know?
But don't you think that they're gonna be missing out not being in the US?
No, because I don't know how most of us grew up, but I feel like I really loved the childhood I had, which was going outside, playing with my friends until the street light came on. And here they still have that. But I don't think in the States I would feel comfortable letting my kids go do that. I don't even know if I want to go do that half the time.
Yeah, here in Nicaragua, you still see kids like going to the store at 8 years old to go buy groceries. Like their parents is like, all right, go run that errand. And then they go to the little pulperia in the corner and they buy whatever they need, the eggs and the cheese, and they come back home. They're already handling money at a young age. They're taking care of their sibling. They're playing outside with the other kids on the block. Their perspective in life, I feel like it's a lot sharper and a lot more widened in terms of what they're capable of during that age, you know, and they still get to be kids. They still get to go play. They necessarily don't have to go to work immediately at 18 because here things are different. So that's also more time for them to develop and more time for them to find who they are and stuff.
And actually in the States, I started working under the table in a catering business at 14 and started real work like with a W-2 at 15. So it's like, I felt like I rushed life a bit over there and I wanted my kids to just sit and enjoy the moment. Like Elliot, he loves taking a bath in a bucket that may not even be a brand new bucket, but so for some people they're like, wow, I can't provide a nice bathtub to my kids. But
here,
for Elliot,
it doesn't matter.
He's gonna look back on these
yeah.
memories and he's gonna be like, wow, that was such a cool memory. Like, look how cool that was. And he enjoys those moments. So I think what we think is not giving our children something is actually giving them something.
When I was like 10 years old, I lived here for a bit, around 4 years of my life. And I always go back to that time in my life living here as a kid. It was just so eye-opening coming from the US to live here, like going outside to play soccer and playing all these games and just traveling and getting to see this country and then going to the US and getting to see the US into a different lens. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not that the US is bad. We love the US. It's a beautiful country. And honestly, it's just that they're two different worlds. And the fact that I get to think about that my kids are gonna have those two perspectives, the perspective of here, Latin America, because we also go to Honduras, we go to Guatemala, and we travel across, to now going to the US and seeing that lifestyle. In the future, they can pick wherever they want, but by the time they're 18 or 20, they're just gonna have such a broadened life perspective of what they went through that I'm hoping that's a tool for them to help build character and then, be humble and be able to accomplish things in life. So if later in life they want to go pursue going to the States and studying over there and building a business or working over there, more power to them. But in the back of their heritage and their history, they're going to have the roots where they grew up here in the simple life and getting to see this whole different perspective around the world.
Yeah, I definitely feel like we're blessed to have the option to have both, We're so lucky. And
what about the fact that here, for example, since Nicaragua really, here you can afford to hire a nanny and like you can afford to be at home. You don't need to break your back working. So honestly, families I feel like are tighter, so you can be more present, and that to me has been a plus. Like I've been able to see Elliot grow up and not have to work that 9 to 5 and be absent and then go pay daycare for someone to raise our child,
Yeah, pretty much we would have worked to have put our kids into daycare, so like we're working to keep them away from us, which would defeat the concept of having kids. And I do think it's a blessing that we can hire help here and have the village raise the kids together. That includes us. I won't say it is easy today to find the help like it used to be because, everybody wants that opportunity that we all get in the States, which is, this is not the job I had signed up to be, but the people that do work in this industry here really enjoy it. It did take us 2 years to find good help, but I would say that now that we have it, I cook meals for everyone, they help clean, I play with Elliot and they help pick up. It's just such what it should have been all along, which is you get your parents or your grandparents to help you, that concept. And so we're excited that we get that opportunity here, because if we were in the States, I just don't even know how we'd manage. It would break us, honestly.
So there's a lot we can go into here. I feel like we can spend a whole video on this. Actually, that might be an interesting topic just to discuss. So to save us time, because we got so much to cover, we're gonna move on to the next one. But raising kids abroad, yes, do it. Don't be scared. When you go abroad, it's not gonna be that easy. You're gonna have growth challenges and the cultural shift.
Yeah.
So Courtney, I want you to share your experience a little bit. How was that for you, leaving the US and going abroad?
So I think, as many of you may know, I'm not fluent in Spanish.
I thought you could speak French.
I try to speak many languages. I sound like Elliot, Maybe that's
Elliot's
why
our 2-year-old, so for those of you that are new to the channel, so it sounds like gibberish.
It does, and I think I understand his language out of everyone, so probably we are speaking the same language. So at the end of the day, I can't speak English or Spanish, but coming here has been an eye-opener just to how much I didn't realize that would be a struggle for me. At first it was really intimidating. I wouldn't want to go out to the markets by myself or pick out my food. I'd say to Elton, can you please order this, etc. So definitely language was the hardest thing for moving abroad.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And a cultural change for me. Something though that I've gained from it is that I've learned to appreciate more things. So I've always been really appreciative of others and grateful in life for many things, but here I just find more reason to smile and to not be upset over silly things like a plate breaking. There's people out there literally that only probably eat once a day, carrying wood on their back to put that food under fire for them, and then they're still smiling and waving and offering help, maybe even food that they barely have. So I try not to be selfish anymore, and I don't think I was, but I can't believe just how much selfless this has made me because of the culture that moving abroad has brought.
Goes back to perspective, as I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It is so crazy, and that brings along the balance. So as I was saying before, I'm happy to put work down for the 2 minutes if I need to. Life is more important because this is the only one I get. So for me, moving abroad and seeing a world change, a different world here, and having the cultural difference has really just taught me how to accept living in the moment.
That's nice.
Yeah.
For me, I think that one of the biggest things was breaking out of the routine that I had formed around in the US, that I was so committed to my job and making sure this company would succeed that there was no line between my personal and my work. So I would go home and still get phone calls. I would always be on the clock no matter where I was. I could only take 2 weeks a year off, and it would be a struggle to get those PTO approved because you would feel guilty for leaving that job in the air. And all that for me really just boiled down to like, that just didn't feel right to me anymore. I remember when I first got here, I was always in a rush trying to get things done because I was in the US mode, right? Oh, it's gonna happen today at 3 p.m. We should expect them here and everyone's gonna be here and it's gonna go as planned. But no, this is Nika time here. You really come over here and you kind of start to just blend in with the river and the way it flows, and you realize that here you don't need to work as often and as hard, you know, and people don't prioritize work. So your timing, if you have a deadline for 2 months, is more than likely going to be 3 months. It's just a different way of life. It's slower. So now that I have adjusted to that, it's really opened my mind, and I feel like I live more at peace and I'm more tranquil now and not as stressed. It's important. Stress is such a killer. I'm in flip-flops majority of the time at home, you know, so.
Yeah, and I think that's a culture thing. Like, I would have thought at first it was like, it's because it's not about making money, and it really isn't about making money, but it's like, everyone here in Nicaragua follows that culture, so we don't feel bad about following the same suit of that culture. So like in the US, everybody's like in a hurry, right? And we don't want to be replaced in our jobs because it's how we pay our bills. But here, I mean, some people don't show up to work one day. Well, everyone does it, so you're not going to get fired over it. You're not going to lose your job. Not that you should really do that without telling people, but
I mean, that's like
pace.
Yeah, that's like in the cultural shift, you know. And for the growth shift for me, it's like I went from having a boss and having to deliver results to now us trying to build a coffee brand, trying to build a YouTube. So if you haven't, you should.
Subscribe to our Patreon. Sorry, I was like dreaming about the coffee right here and then rubbing my eye. And I was living in the moment, like I was telling everybody. I was listening to nature. Just
so if you haven't, we're trying to build this YouTube channel as big as we can to showcase this beautiful country. But not only that, we're rebuilding the family coffee farm out here. So subscribe to the channel. So we went from doing corporate to now trying to build this on our own, and that's been a challenge, a growth, because no one's going to tell you to go post that video. It's really on you, on us to do it, you know. So that's been hard. So we're trying to push, sell coffee, and build this channel as big as we can. So growth wise, I think that's been a big one for me.
I mean, I really think it's just been a big one for us in general, especially as a family. We're growing as a family, we're growing as content creators, and, you know, producing coffee. And coffee's just like so amazing to us, and it brought us this content, and we're just so happy to share it all with you.
Cheers to the coffee.
To that.
And Nicaragua.
Yeah, and to Nicaragua.
And to you guys for watching. The challenges for us really was the first year we got here, and I felt like it was difficult because we had no friends, and all the family I had before here was already gone and moved on to different things. Some passed away, like my great-grandparents and everything. So it was just a different vibes and vacationing. And so the first year was hard because we needed to find a place to rent, all our documents, getting our things here. It's just so many unanswered questions that I felt like I was stressed and worried. But after the first year, we got a lot of things settled. We found a nice place to rent. We got our things, we got our papers, we did everything, and then everything just fell into place, and it started really to feel like home. Looking back on it, if I could talk to my past self, I would have just told myself, chill out, dude. Everything's gonna be fine, you know? Like, I was stressing literally for no reason. So, but when you're in the moment and going to a new country, you tend to do that, but there's really no reason to do that. Everything turned out fine and okay. I should have just enjoyed that moment at that time. So that was the challenge. So the lesson was to chill out, everything's gonna be fine, and adjust to the flow of the new country, you know? What about you?
Yeah, so I think I have a few challenges, and that would be, like, first was getting into a routine as well. Like, I used to have my gym, my friends, and my routine of going on walks, and a lot of that changed for me because, well, weather-wise, in the middle of the day, it's very hot here, so you're kind of not interested in walking in the sun too long. And there is a gym here. It's just getting outside of my comfort zone. So I think if I could have talked to my past self, is that I would have wished I pushed to be outside of my comfort zone a little bit more, which would have helped also with that language barrier challenge that I had earlier.
That's another challenge.
Yeah, and so I push now, but I'm also comfortable with just not doing those things. Before I thought my life was ending because I couldn't make it to the gym or go for a walk. And then also we experienced a lot of power outages and water issues. And at first I think I was like more annoyed by it because I was like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? Like, I had it so much easier before where this wasn't a problem. But then today, it's more like, okay, well, how can I find a workaround, you know? And it's more like accepting it and appreciating the fact that I even have those things, because really it's not a big deal. It's just more like, well, work around it and then you'll feel just fine, you know? So
yeah, it goes back to the uncertainties of what you're gonna do in that new country, right?
Yeah.
Like all those comforts you have in your current place where you're sitting from watching this from. Imagine just selling everything you own and lifting out of there and no longer knowing where you're gonna go do everything else in the new country.
Yeah.
But once you find all that, then things just feel better, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, accepting the challenges in a graceful way, no matter where you go. It could be in the States even having issues, you know, and I don't think moving abroad is what caused these challenges. It's becoming a new, improved person that had those challenges. And so being abroad allowed us to expand in that way.
Yeah.
So I think that was a plus.
All right, guys, the big money question here. Do you know what the big money question is?
Would we do this again?
Would we do it again?
Yes.
We would do it again in a heartbeat. And at least for me, if you think about it, you only got one life in this lifetime. And if you can do something completely different than what you're doing now, if you can break out of that comfort bubble and you can go experience a different side of the world, the way things people do differently, their food, their culture, everything, lifestyle, you're gonna have your perspective widen and you're gonna feel more fulfilled. And more fulfillment equals more happiness in my book. So 100%, if you're thinking about doing this, do it, please.
Yeah, I would continuously go back down the same road over and over again and keep coming here. The one thing I would change is that before kids, I would have taken advantage of taking that chicken bus more and seeing more parts of Nicaragua and just experiencing living abroad even more. We don't realize, just like Elton was saying earlier, he was rushing, you know, to enjoy life here, but we really should have just enjoyed the moment.
Yeah,
so.
we should enjoy the moment more. Now with kids, it's a little bit more difficult, but yeah, you know, we're making
still
it work.
enjoying it.
We're still alive.
Enjoying it.
And the thing with us is, for us, it was Nicaragua. But for you, it might be Mexico, Colombia, Spain, Japan,
Thailand.
Italy, Thailand. Really just look at the world as your oyster and just freaking go, go, go.
Yeah, and this may not be our only spot, because
who knows? We might travel to other places later. So
yeah, I'm interested. I want to see the world, like I told you all. So stay tuned. I hope that if you want us to elaborate more on one of these topics, we're happy to do so. We didn't want to chat all of your ear off.
I think we did.
I think we totally did. Sorry
about that. Don't hit the dislike button. Please hit the like button.
We could be more prompt and
if you have any questions, really,
point.
just drop them in the comment section. Yeah, it's your coffee familia.
And subscribe for more, and we miss you guys.
If you want to try our coffee, link below. Please support the channel.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys later.